May 6th, 2025, I am Juan Jose in this new transmission, in this sequence of the crossing through the bridge towards the next cosmic era, galactic era for the civilization, where we see all our mental projections during the last 170 centuries that we are purifying into global and universal alignment of energies. The sequence of co-creation was broken from the very beginning. That is not taking place the fecundation between the galactic spiritual tutorial guidance by the noble souls of the galaxy and the universe. This misalignment has had the consequence of the sapiens looking at himself in the mirror of his own consciousness, unconsciousness, and unawareness that he was just seen reflected his own projections, the projections of the civilization through history. This is the mirror effect, like when we observe these unconscious animals watching themselves, seeing themselves reflected on the mirror and becoming aggressive and entering in that cycle of unawareness and the escalation of the aggressive projection being reflected back into the unconsciousness of the sapiens. This is the consequence being projected on the suffering and the trauma of the civilization. That is the result of not being interested to follow the universal guidance. Apparently, the primitive sapiens didn't find the interest of the connection through the guidance of the interdimensional souls who came to guide this civilization as an emerging civilization of the galaxy towards the universal self-sufficient consciousness to pilot this mothership of the galaxy as an healthy collective organism. That is the highest, most advanced timeline that we are now integrating into this expansion of consciousness to advance the global consciousness of humankind into these advanced timelines, the timeline of a collective, united, healthy organism to harbor the noble soul of the civilization to pilot this mothership of the galaxy within the universal parameters of global integrity, ethical philosophy, multidimensional intelligence, and divine quantum consciousness. The correction for the global and universal alignment of self-sufficiency of consciousness is proportional to the deviation during the last 170 centuries in which this suffering and trauma of the civilization has been reflected on the mirror of our collective consciousness, projected in the memory of the Akashic records, now being reflected back, and for everyone to witness that this is the evidence and the truth of our history as a civilization, disregarding from the beginning by the Alpha Sapiens the spiritual guidance of the interdimensional souls. That is what we are actually reconnecting. That is the regeneration of the global organism of humankind to come into this universal alignment to cross this 5D plus bridge towards the next cosmic era of galactic co-creation as the Homo Cosmicus Spiritualis. The spirituality is part, together with the sciences, of the structures of this universal existence. This self-sufficient eternal divine existence of the civilization is based on consciousness and the spirit of this universe. This is manifested through the sciences being studied by the generations of brilliant brains who were bringing the understanding of the quantum mechanics during the last century, studying all this microcosmos of the quantum matter. Matter can be definitely observed in the three different expressions: the microcosmos of the quantum mechanics, the mesocosmos of the organic universe in which we are now present, and also definitely the macrocosmos of the astral structures where we observe the solar systems, the galaxies, and the cosmos itself. Universal consciousness is versatility and it is flexibility and spirituality from this bridge from the mass. Consciousness equals mass, and obviously depending of the dimensions of the star, it's required consciousness to hold into this global and galactic and astral structures, what the science is calling dark matter, of dark energies, is the spirit and the consciousness holding this consciousness of the stars, of the galaxies, in dynamic levitation for the evolution of this consciousness, expanding as it is also observed the galaxies in a rate that is even faster than the speed of light. That means that consciousness is the evidence observed by the telescopes in which we can conclude that consciousness expanding in the universe from galaxies that they are far from the reach of the telescopes for the expansion is because of this consciousness is definitely faster than the speed of light. Consciousness is simultaneous by telenose transmitting from the center of the galaxy through the star Sirius and our sun, which is sending these photons charged by the consciousness that we are translating from our connection, a spiritual connection of our souls for the understanding of humankind. We are in this process initially transgalactic navigation instructors for the civilization, that we have come also interdimensional healers of this suffering and trauma by integrating the versatility and the flexibility of the quantum consciousness of the spirit source in this infinite love that we are bringing. Love is the essential neutral energy connecting the entire universe in this structures, keeping that gravity from the consciousness that equals the mass. We have a material mass, and we have also a spiritual mass reflected through the consciousness that we are now translating for humankind. That's our mission, and that is how we have to advance our timelines that have been suffering a delay of 170 centuries, because that has been opposition to own divine existence and the evolution of consciousness. The priority is to form this morphological integrity of the civilization in a global organism of humankind, in which every human, every brain is like a neuron in the collective brain of humanity, and every human is a cell in the collective organism. And that is how we have to form the organs in which every human is involved according to the contribution, and to facilitate this reconfiguration of the morphological structure of humanity, and the credit for the credibility and the commitment for this transformation through the co-creativity of the energies of the civilization to harbor the noble soul of humanity, teleporting our consciousness through the galactic and cosmic consciousness, and expanding our universal consciousness through the universe towards eternity. That's our mission, to pilot this mothership, sacred, organic, spiritual, conscious mothership of the galaxy in the original trajectory, in alignment to the structures of the galaxy, the cosmos, and the multidimensional universe. Thank you very much for listening this new transmission, and until the next connection.